Right then, couple of points of order before we get cracking with this blog. First of which being, you might remember in the last blog I did the Goodrich hoses, or James did the Goodrich hoses rather, and fitted them, and you may remember right at the start me kind of thinking, oh, why is there no instructions in the box? And we theorised that it could possibly be because they've been rushed out to us, because it has happened before. However, if we just turned the box over, we would have seen instructions on the back. So, our bad, sorry, typical man, get things out of box, deal with it. But as James said, it is pretty self-explanatory. But yes, there are actually instructions on the box, just in case. Now, a couple other things. Finally had the bike recall done, so it's got its new ECU popped up to Suzuki. It had a bit of a little service and a little refresh. Love how a bike feels after a service. Never quite sure if it's a mental thing or not, but anyway. And I had the recall done. Now I know a couple of people have said they noticed a difference with the blipper shifter after the recall are done. I haven't actually, it's the same to me, but what I did discover excuse me, what I did discover a little while ago was that how sensitive it is to how tight the chain is. There's a particular journey I was doing, it was about 300 miles, and I'd done 200 miles a day before, and on the return leg was about 300 miles, and I did notice that as the chain was getting slacker, the shifting got slacker as well, really got even more inconsistent, and it's at its best when the chain is at the right tension. So I was kind of hoping, as it happened with some of you guys, that it would have instantly made it better, but no. The only weird thing, to be fair, nothing really particularly feels different, although I did accidentally knock it into a false neutral when I was wearing my big boots the other day, and it doesn't rev its tits off anymore, so that part works. But the only other thing I've noticed, and it's really weird, is I used to be able to start the bike in gear with the clutch in, no problems, and now it seems to not do it sometimes, and it always used to do it before, and I don't know if this is some kind of weird thing. Sometimes I can sit there for ages sat on the button and it just won't do anything, and I'll press it again, it'll start. Weird. Anyway, should probably just put it into neutral and just get on with it, but just trying to talk about the kind of stuff for that. Right now, what you're about to watch is some wheel fitting to the bike, the Rotobox carbon wheels. What I will say though is it was filmed about the same time as the last one, so just give it a rest on all the cleaning stuff please, because it was still in the same state then as it was in the last blog, alright? Because everything was filmed within a day or two of each other, but for the moment let's head over to JHS and yeah, see the wheels being put on. Right, the time has come to finally fit these, the Rotobox carbon wheels. Now, we actually got one out of the box yesterday, and what did it weigh?
3.5 kilos.
For a rear?
For the front.
For the
no
front,
discs.
For the front, no discs, that's right.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was proper nice and light. And now William here is going to fit some tyres, right,
Yes.
William? And
Pirelli Supercoursers.
I've gone for the Pirelli Supercoursers. I know some of you guys want me to try the Rosso Corsa 2 and the Dunlop TT things, but I'll get around to that later in the year. Now, William, I used to very much enjoy watching John sweat whenever he had to put tyres on carbon wheels. You have no such worries, do you?
No, it's normal. Treat it like no other wheel. Look, respect it.
Would you like to get it? Would you like to remove it from box? Yeah, so the thing that says open.
Open and pull.
And pull. And here we go. And they open up. There we go. And then I think we find accessories.
Accessories here.
Open here for accessories.
And
oh. And there's no accessories.
There's no accessories.
Maybe there's some accessories in here. Yay! And of course, the nice thing is I'll be able to put the standard wheels back in.
Yeah.
What's in there?
These are our wheel spacers for our wheel.
Okay.
So these are specific spacers that will be for your GSX-R.
Mm-hmm.
So we just have to, I guess there'll probably be just a tap fit in, just a little interference fit. And
gotcha.
they fit in.
They do look nice, don't they? What I like about these over the BSTs is that they look, because you know BSTs are all
Shiny all over.
Well, they're on the inside here that you never see, but they look all. They don't look finished.
No.
Whereas these look kind of finished, and then you have this slightly rougher on the edges here, which can only be to stop tyres from moving on the rim. Surely, that's not a bad idea. That.
Right.
Right. Crack on. But can you do it while boogieing on down, Wills? Woo! Come on! Really he's what?
He's not much of a dancer, that Will. He's more one of those you see at the side, just nodding his head.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you a nodder? I see now. I want to see you dancing, shaking your thing. Come on.
I need some water.
Okay.
So, dry. Plenty of lube.
Plenty of lube. That's just advice for life, my friend.
Yes.
Yeah, that's nothing to do with tyres.
It's nothing to do with tires. Right. Dots.
Which way does the wheel go?
So the wheel has that, I believe, there to be the directional arrow.
Yeah.
And the spokes are slightly angled back, so I would say the wheel rotates clockwise.
Yeah, I would say so, because it says Rotobox and there's a little thing going that way.
Right. So, and our arrow on our tyre we're looking for is there,
Mm-hmm.
and then we fit in a Pirelli.
Yep.
They always have two dots. That's the heaviest point of the tyre.
Okay.
There. So generally you line that up with the valve.
Gotcha.
So
Which is
round
there.
it's round the other way. So on this one we'll have to flip it over. There. So I'll line that up. That's the first thing.
Now this is the bit where John used to say, have you ever seen, you're a young man, so you probably have never seen the film Airplane.
No.
When he's coming into land. You've not seen that and he starts sweating? Normally right now I'd have my water wings on because John would be having absolute sweat kittens over it. But quite frankly, and bearing in mind what these things cost, I can't say I blame him. Now, to use the local vernacular, you flip E over.
Yeah. So as easy as that.
Spin E round.
So just double check, make sure we've got the valve in the right place.
Yeah.
Oh look, bang on.
Spot on.
Spot on. So, I did check the valve core was tight before I did it.
You did? Good man.
So we don't need to check that if anyone's noticed that I've not done it up. Generally, you can pop the tyres out onto the rim with the valve core in.
Yeah.
This one's should go out nice and easy.
God, it's a shame to put discs on it, really.
And tyre pressure wise, 36 psi.
36 for me, please, for the road. Yeah. And when I go on a Suzuki track day in a month or so time, I shall knock them down a bit.
So there we go.
Lovely. Thank you, William. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Yeah, there's our front fitted.
Going out to the man in the Tottenham shirt, which is an old DJ Slasher joke from many years ago that only old people like me may understand. And only if you listen to the tape.
Right, next job is the balancer.
Yeah. Only if you happen to be at that Fantasia or whatever it was, yeah. What's your name? Where'd you come from? What you done?
What you want?
Oh, God, I'm old. Alright.
You've gone for the Diablo Supercorsa V2.
Oh, have I?
Yes, these are the V2 option this is.
And the difference is?
Well, they've got a new V3 out that's been recently released. I
Oh.
think it's only available at the minute on a 260 section. That's the only one I've seen at the minute.
Okay.
That's possibly why you've got the
Yeah.
17-inch rim.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that, and then
Away we
set
go.
it up, and that's it. Just spin it up. So when spinning it down, just check, make sure the tyres all fitted on. Nice. It's all fitted on nice, all spins up. Generally with a steel, an aluminium wheel, we always check if they're straight, because you can easily see it. But yeah, it's a brand new carbon wheel, so it's not that buckled. So we're at 5 grams, and generally that's within sort of tolerance, 5 grams, but we'll put the 5 gram on, so we know it's 100%. Could fit a nice black weight.
Black weight would be fine, yeah, thank you.
Or do you want a grey?
No, let's go black.
We'll go black, shall we?
Yeah.
So this machine, it's got a number of lines here that line up, as you can see. So it tells me where I would need to place my weight. So that would be there, and that would be up from the centre point upwards.
Okay.
So I've cleaned the wheel with a little bit of brake cleaner just to degrease it. So I'll set that in our centre point. There. And spin it up again. See what she comes back at.
Yeah, we were doing these manually, sports bike, the old manual balancer.
Yeah, it's all more or less, you end up with the same result.
Yeah.
Manually you have to find it to a point and then select a certain amount of weight until it goes round. But this is a modern and easier and quicker way to do it. So we've got, so our balance is perfect, we're bang on. Yeah. No other weights are needed.
Superb.
So, front one done.
Front done. Go
so onto the rear.
Yep.
Same. Fancy boxes, aren't they?
I was going to say it's nicely done, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, same again. It's ever so light. Very lightweight. Very.
Right, stock wheels are off, so we need to remove the diskies. While we're here, we've noticed that I've probably got less than 1,000 miles left in my road and track pads, but I did put them in quite well now. I'm almost on 4,000 miles now.
Yes.
And I put them in, I have to check, but I think about 1,500 miles, so actually that's not too bad.
It's not too bad for a set of road and track pads, especially with about 2,000 miles.
Standard disc off. Now I'm just trying to find, where is it gone? I have to try and get it in the light so you can see it. Let's see if I can get that to... Can you see the little pitted marks in there? That is where, just in the disc you can see some little pitted marks. That is where, over winter, the bike has gone through some salt type thing and sat for... So I actually remember the day it happened, and I got home and got out about an hour later, and my discs were pretty much orange, and that's because they'd just done all the roads. So obviously I gave the bike a clean, but the pads had already started to stick to the discs. And those little pitting things there, that's the result.
On this wheel, that side as well.
That side as well.
That a bit better.
Just there, yeah. So you can see it in the light, yeah, just a little bit. I mean, it happens, doesn't it?
It does happen, yeah. It's sort of part and parcel of riding in the winter.
Yeah, which I do, and this gets used every day. So
and, if you don't have the time to take calipers off, fully strip them, clean the pads, clean everything out, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh well. Never mind. Sorry, diskies.
Maybe a slight difference in the weight of the tyre, but
yeah, but it'll be minimal, won't it?
what's that? Nearly 85 kilos.
85 kilos.
No, not 85. No.
Just one, please. And a hazelnut shot, an umbrella.
Yes, please, thanks, cheers, Hart.
Okay.
That's 1.5 kilos lighter, isn't it?
Pardon?
It's 1.5 kilos
Yeah,
lighter.
1.5 kilos lighter on the front.
With no discs, so the discs will weigh the same.
Yeah.
both wheels.
Either way, yeah.
So yeah, you got a 1.5 kilo
Reduction.
reduction in
Unsprung weight, which is the
unsprung weight, rotating mass.
which is the importance of the weights.
Yes. Right. Get a fresh Loctite on all the. If there's any left in here.
You've gone for the same colour as well.
Yeah, well, the colours are different types of Loctite.
Mm-hmm.
The blue being a semi-permanent, and the red being a
Permanent.
permanent. You're not getting it undone sort of peel.
Yeah.
So if we do that, and put the same Loctite that it came off with, then it should be all correct.
Well, that's the first win. The discs fit.
Yeah.
The discs fit. First win.
And they do.
Yay! I like your little light that comes on.
A trusty torque wrench out. 23 Newton meters.
She's on. She's on.
We have a weight comparison.
If you want to, yeah.
That's about the same state of wheels.
Yep.
No, you can't see, can you?
Well, as I say, we know the Bridgestone tyres will be heavier because they're sports touring tyres.
Call that
13
kilos.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a difference.
9.5. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a
difference in the rear.
big difference there. Yeah.
You feel it.
Well, you can see just by the way you're moving it about. Yeah. Come back. Well, we have a little bit of an issue here. We have discovered that there is what we think is probably a machining fault. And the disc won't quite fit. You can get 2 bolts in, like so, and then, as you can see, as soon as you put 2 in like that, then you're not quite flush. It's not out by much, but trust us, we've tried to tighten these up as much as we can. And what we can't do is we cannot get the little colliery bits there to go flush. So we are thinking that Rotobox had just some kind of a bad batch or something. These things do happen. We've had it before with other people. But rather than wait for them to send, because the disc carrier is actually removable. There's bolts just under there, so that pops out. So rather than wait for them to send one, we will see. That's it. It won't go down any further than that because it's just ever so slightly out. You can probably just about see there. So James has a plan, because he always has a plan, because he is the man over there doing something at the moment. Has a plan to get these on, and in the meantime we've let Rotobox know that they have an issue, at least with this one. So yeah, rather than, I could quite easily wait for a new thing to come, but I don't think the boys want to do that because I want to get my bike out the door, which is completely understandable. But yeah, so slight problem, but it'll be fixed.
if I do that on each one, right,
Yeah.
that aligns the disc, and we got a little bit of plume movement in the fitting
Yeah.
of the wheel.
Yeah. So it should be able to get it on.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we're not reducing the strength, because the reduction of strength is this
Is that way?
is the weak point.
Okay. I don't know.
Get out of the way! We just got it, there, going. What do you reckon? There you go, Daddy.
Happy
Just
days.
nip them up.
Nip they up. Right, latest update is standard teeth sprocket is 45, but we've been sent a 43. Now, funny enough, having a slightly smaller rear sprocket is something that I kind of wanted to try on this for long distance reasons, which I'll talk about in another vlog. 2 teeth, a little bit more than I wanted, but at the same time, I'm very curious to see it. Obviously now it's pulled the wheelbase out a bit, so it'll be nice and stable, won't it, Ben?
Yes.
Yes, see. So high speed stability will be increased. It'll be interesting to see what effect that's had on everything else. So I'm going to try it, and then I'm going to ask the Rotobox guys to try and send through the standard 45 teeth sprocket. So I'll pop that back on and then give it a see. But luckily the chain is still alive enough to fit by the looks of things. Is it fitting?
Yeah, we've got enough on it.
We got enough on it. Sweet. So let's have a look at her in the light. Even though she's a bit dirty, but you know.
You try to clean the chain.
Well, yeah, but I've just done many miles on her. She's going to be dirty. Oh, and it's raining, which is just perfect. Right, have a look. I've got to say, I like it now the wheels aren't blue as well.
There we go.
There she is. Hey? Look at that. So I've got braideds on the front, not done the rear, we'll get around to that at a later date. And the rotor boxes are on. There they are. Courtesy of, and a little bit of James in there, of course. Courtesy of that and that. And the interesting thing about these rotor boxes is you can tailor them so you can get certain parts anodized, different colours. You can also have paint splashed across them, and there's graphics you can have put on. You can decide all that when you order them, which is quite interesting. But I suppose the proof needs to be in the pudding, so the next thing to do is to get out and ride her when it stops raining. Mate, thank you so much for your help today.
No worries, mate. No worries.
Pleasure. Right then.
Okay, right, as you saw we had a tiny bit of an issue there. We're quite often used as guinea pigs, which is fine. These are their prototype wheels for this model bike. Got sent out and it was a teeny tiny little, literally like that much variance with the disc bolt spacing, which has now been sorted by all accounts. So anyone getting a set of these for the Gixxer, don't worry, it's absolutely sorted. The wheels are ace. They are absolutely ace, and I love it. And they've actually really helped because of everything you saw then. So you see we had to pull the wheel right back, which has lengthened the wheelbase, which has changed. In fact, the initial change of the bike with everything that you've just seen was quite remarkable and quite stark. And at first I didn't really enjoy it very much, if I'm being absolutely honest. It took me a while to get used to it, but what I did also do was pop up to Castle Combe just to check out how the Goodrich lines and the wheels and the longer wheelbase and everything coped, and I will talk about that loads more in the next blog. I'll give you the full SP in the next blog. I wasn't there for long. Huge thanks to Castle Combe for letting me come up. I only did like a couple of 10-minute sessions, and they didn't charge me the earth for it, so thank you. But yeah, it's interesting just how all these changes I've done, all of a sudden it's quite a different bike, but the same. But that's kind of good, you know, and now I'm really starting to like it the way it is. But anyway, I'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, and the Goodrich hoses, they were the last piece of the puzzle for me, for what I wanted for the brakes for the GSX-R. So spot on with that. I know a bunch of you have come in and said different ones you've tried and whatnot. All I can say is, because I've experienced these, is if you're after a set of lines for your GSX-R, you really can't go wrong. And that's about it. So anyway, next time we'll talk a bit more Castle Combe, we'll talk carbon wheels, we'll talk longer gearing, which is another crucial one. We'll talk longer wheelbase, a bit more on the brakes as well, and where we're going to go next. So thank you guys, till next time, bye.